Hello everyone, Badger here, and today we're gonna take a look at some more AJS-37 Viggen in DCS. This time we're gonna do some illumination bombs, so make sure you have illumination bombs. Grounder bombs, Lysbomb, illumination bomb. We're already armed, so we're gonna taxi to the runway. We're also, as you can see, it really is raining, really is coming down.
Enfield 1-1. Cookie, clear to taxi to runway 9.
We're gonna take runway 27, because otherwise we have to taxi all the way down. And so we're gonna do some nighttime flying. We're gonna do a takeoff, we're gonna navigate to the target area, which is easy enough. And then we're gonna do a TILS approach, a flip-flop approach, I think it's called, using the TILS, tactical ILS, that the Viggen has. Stage 2, and then we take off. Lower the heads-up display light a little bit. On stage. Some speed, and then just pull the gear up. And I'm pretty sure that I forgot to put in the code for the data cartridge, like an idiot. So there we go. After that, stage 1. We're gonna maintain about 200 meters altitude. And I'll tell you about the procedures and how to drop this that I use. Autopilot on. So, in order to drop the illumination bomb, first we have to set the weapon selector to attack. All the way to the right and then back one to the left. Then you set the offset for the Lysbomb. Vänster means left, rakt is forward, and höger is to the right. We basically just offset the waypoint a little bit, left or right, depending on if you want them to be offset to the target. So that's easy enough. Then we set to ANF, and we're gonna monitor these instruments: our speed indicator, airspeed indicator, the G meter, and the ADI, and also the Feld Lust weapon release light. When it's red, it means that all weapons have been released. Speed should be at about 0.9 Mach when we drop the weapons. So we're gonna align ourselves a little bit better here. Altitude 150 meters. Then when we get the proper indication, we're gonna pull back with 4 Gs while holding down the trigger. So we're gonna get a range line coming up here at the bottom. And it's gonna show us the range. It's gonna shrink towards the middle, and then when it reaches a certain point, it's gonna start blinking like crazy, which means that there's 4 seconds until you pull back. Then it's gonna extend to full. That means it's 1 second to pull back, and it's basically pull back now. You do so with 4 Gs while holding the trigger. And that's about it. Now we just have to wait until we're in range. We're flying extremely low there. You can see the trees. Our altitude is about 200 over sea, 210. I'm actually gonna have to pull up, because that's a hill. Yeah, now we're good. So then we pull down a little bit. And it's time to speed up, so we're gonna go stage 3. And we are flying very low. Keep my eye on our airspeed, Mach 0.89, it's 6, 8, 9, 90. Then you maintain stage 2 to maintain that speed. The range bar has come up here. It's shrinking towards the 3 vertical lines. Safety off. Should start blinking any second now. There's the blinking, 4 seconds. Pulling up. Trigger held. And weapon release. Afterburner off. And the cross there is our target area. Throttle to idle. And we should see some bombs. There they are. Now I did a pretty jerky, my G-meter was all over the place. But it seems that they almost always land in this vertical line, which I don't think they're supposed to. I think they're supposed to be more like that, in a line like so. Because I mean, what's the point in them being like that? That's what I don't understand. So maybe something is wrong, because almost every time I do it, they fly like this. I mean, sure, you get lighting for a longer time. So basically what these bombs are is that it's basically a big flare, really bright flare, on a parachute. So as you can see, they illuminate the target area nicely. If I had some dumbfire weapons, I could easily score hits on targets. And they hang in the air for quite some time. So now we're gonna fly back towards base. Mission accomplished. Set it back to nav mode. Then we set waypoint L1. And we turn towards the north. And I'll show you the TILS approach and its functions. Let's climb to 1,000 meters. It's about 3,000 feet. Good approach altitude. So we begin by setting it to nav landing. Autopilot on, we're about 900 meters, that's okay. So we extend the radar and we can see this symbol. Now that's the runway about here. This is our approach pattern. So we're gonna come in like this and then make a turn like so. Turn off the radar warning receiver. But that's the wrong runway. That's runway 27. We want to land at runway 09. So you can now see that the symbology has changed. You can see there. And the number also changes. Set it back to waypoint mode. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna fly, come here, make a turn onto runway. Now this isn't a proper ILS system. This won't guide you down all the way down. This is a pretty basic system that will guide you some of the way. Then you have to find your way manually. I call ATC to let them know we're coming.
Enfield 1-1 inbound. Enfield 1-1. Koki, fly heading 3, Fort 1-4. QFE 30.27. Runway 09 to pattern altitude.
Yeah, so we can ignore most of that. So yeah, you basically just, when you get to this curve, this circle, the heads-up display will shift towards the right. And you pretty much just place this circle on the dot. You do a standard rate turn that isn't too steep. You can see the range scale is starting to shrink again as we approach it. And then you just follow the curvature and you align the final line roughly with this line in my experience. This doesn't work as it should like a normal ILS. This needle should be centered in that case when you come on approach, which it rarely is. So autopilot off, and then we prepare for our approach turn. Any second now, the heads-up display is going to jerk to the right. Probably a lot more than any second. 10 seconds maybe. There it is. Now we just make a standard turn. About 30 degrees. You put the ring on there. Try and keep the ring around the dot. There's that. We keep on turning. And I think we're gonna get a good approach. You just have to align that line there. Dropping altitude. And there we go. So like I said, align that line perfectly and you're gonna get a good approach. Because this TILS needle, it will throw you off in my experience. So we need to adjust so that the base of this line is at the bottom. Like so. Gear out.
Enfield
Turn
1-1.
left.
Cleared for visual. Contact tower.
And we can see the runway up ahead nicely. We're coming in way faster than we should be. So I'm going to use some air brakes, pull up. The Viggen loses speed quickly when you have the gear down.
Colkey, infield, 1-1, request landing.
Then you set it to regular landing mode by flicking that switch to the right, and you do a visual landing.
Meters per second.
Turn the radar altimeter on, turn this. And so all you do is just place the dot on the runway threshold. You pull it down by using this velocity vector. So the dot is about where we want it, we throttle up, and then we just glide down. Simple as that. Dot is rising, then we throttle down. I mean, velocity vector is rising. Pull a bit off to the side. Looking good. Speed is a little bit high, but there we go. And from here it's pretty much just about feeling. So flare a little bit, throttle down. There we go. That wasn't the most graceful landing I've done in the Viggen. And because it's slippery, we're pretty much just gonna roll all the way down to the runway. But thanks for watching. I hope you learned how to employ the illumination bombs and that you found some of these tips for doing the flip-flop approach in the dark with rain useful. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching and Badger out. I'll see you the next time.